Hey there. All right, so today I'm going to talk you through a very simple lead management process that automatically organizes and tracks new leads coming in and also automatically adds them to your email list. So this is going to only be 5 steps, uses 5 apps, doesn't cost you anything, and it's free to get started with all of those apps. And just before we dive in, hello, I'm Jesse Parker. I'm the founder of Life Coach Operations, and I help life coaches like you organize and automate your business operations so that all of the admin work and those back-end processes, they never get in the way of you serving your clients. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, so here is the lead management system that we are going to be working on today. And here's essentially how it works. So you'll have a form embedded on your website. The lead is going to sign up using that form, presumably to get, your freebie, your lead magnet, your VFO, whatever you want to call it. And then a couple of things are going to happen. One, we need to make sure that they get that freebie on a confirmation page. 2, we need to make sure that they also get that freebie via email, just in case they want to access it later. Maybe they've clicked off of the confirmation page. And 3, we want to add that lead as a subscriber. And then from there, if you'd like, I'm going to show you how to automatically create a record in Airtable, which is simply like a database where you can organize your contacts, your sessions, your payments, really anything you want in your coaching business. But we're going to automatically track that lead there. And at the same time, I'm going to show you how to automatically add them to an email sequence, either right from the form or via your email list. And so let's dive in, and we're actually going to start just by organizing our Airtable database. And so if you don't have Airtable, when you get started, it will ask how you want to begin. And I always just choose start from scratch, and we'll call this probably let's just do client database. And let's make it a little bit of a prettier color. Maybe I'll choose a little logo here. And we're only going to be working with one table. And so this table, we're going to call this contacts. And the reason why I'm not using leads is because as leads progress in your pipeline or, through these stages, they will eventually hopefully be, clients and contacts and things like that. So contacts is just kind of the overall theme where we can categorize these kinds of people. So we'll go ahead and click save. And then we're going to change some things around here. So we'll edit this, and actually I want this to be email address, and there's actually an email type field here. And the reason why I'm starting with email address is because the way that databases work, let me just close this over here, the way that databases work is that they use something called a primary key. And you always want that primary key to be something that is a unique identifier to be able to classify or identify that record. And if you simply had name here, which I do see a lot of coaches doing, if you technically had somebody with the same name, you wouldn't be able to necessarily choose the correct record to update in the future. So it's really important that we start with email address, because only an email address can only belong to one person. So we'll do email address, and then over here, let's just do first name. We're going to keep it really simple for now. You can add last names and things like that. We'll just do first name. We don't need assignee, and we'll use status, but let's do lead, client, and past client. We won't really use these other 2 statuses, but it's a good idea to have these in case you want to further segment your database in the future. So let me just remove these sample records. Okay, so now we have what we need here. The next thing we're going to do is I recommend using an app called Fillout Forms. Now, Fillout Forms is really wonderful because their pricing is really supportive, and you get a lot of features in the free plan. And so if you haven't signed up for a forum app yet, or you want something that has a lot of functionality but you don't have to pay for right away, highly recommend going with Fillout Forms. And the great thing is that they automatically integrate with Airtable. And so if I just click here to connect, and I want to send my submissions to Airtable, let's just choose a very simple theme, click on next, I already connected my Airtable account, so it's there for me. Oh, it might be my other Airtable account. Let's see. There we go. And then we want to do client database. This would probably be the new one that I started, contacts, and we'll go ahead and create that form. And we'll just call this lead form. Something simple, right? And what's really neat is that Fillout Forms, once it's connected to Airtable, it's smart enough to know what fields you had in your Airtable database to put on your form. So if we scroll down here, we can see these are the Airtable fields that we can use. And it already knows that we have email address, and it knows that we have first name, and it also knows that we have status. So we're going to do something interesting here in a moment. But the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I mark this field as required. We'll mark this first name as required. You can rename things if you'd like. And then the status field, what I'm going to do here is we're going to do status of lead, and we'll make it actually a hidden field. Let's find out where this is. I'm sure that I just missed it. Ah, there it is. And what this is going to do is it's not going to show to the person filling it out, but when they do fill it out, it will automatically classify them as a lead in your Airtable database. So if we just publish this here, we can start testing out. If we just revisit our workflow, right? The lead's going to sign up, which we're going to do right now, and it's going to create this record. We'll still need to create the confirmation page. And so if we go back to this form, we can go to this ending. So this is your confirmation page. So you can say thank you. You could even say download your freebie here. And you can go ahead and add in a URL button. There it is. And if you want to remove this, you will have to upgrade your plan, but otherwise you can still use this. So we can just do download, or you can do click here. It's up to you what you want to do. You can change the color of your button. Maybe you like something that's a little more orange yellowy, and this will go right to Fillout Forms, so you'll have to put the URL to your freebie there. But if we publish this and we preview it, I can fill something out. So I'll put my information in, submit, and then I can go ahead and click download, and presumably this would be my freebie. And the great thing is that over here, I am added to my database and I am classified as a lead. So we have just completed this step, and this step. But now we might want to deliver this freebie over email. And in order to do that, we have a couple of options. So let's go back to Fillout here. We'll exit the preview. Now we could, if we go to integrate, Fillout just released a new feature called workflows. And so if you want to, you can kind of do this thank you email workflow, which is where when the form is submitted, they're getting a customized email. So if we build something like this, and this is just a simple automation, workflow automation, interchangeable terms, we can click on send email, send to email address, your submission was received, and you can connect your Gmail if you want to send it right from your Gmail or Google Workspace. And then we can also add things in like here. Here is your freebie. And we can add something else like a button, just like we did before, right? Download. And we can put our URL, whatever we need to do there. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So I'm not going to turn this on now because I still have to configure my email address and things like that. But this is a great option. Maybe if you haven't signed up for an email marketing platform yet and you want to be able to just automatically email your freebie without going through any of that configuration. The other cool thing here, again, is if you didn't want to go the email marketing route, you can actually create your own nurture sequence right from within Fillout Forms. And so ideally, this gets somebody on your list, and now you're trying to nurture them and upsell them to something else, presumably a consult, but maybe you might be selling something. So you can actually add delays here. So we can do, 24 hours, add this delay, and then we can go ahead and send another email. Or, maybe you're using Slack, you want to send yourself a message, or maybe you are collecting more information and you want to use AI to summarize that, right? And send it to the lead or send it to you. So there is a lot of possibility here. And again, you can use this on the free plan without having to sign up for an email marketing platform. But there are many coaches who do use email marketing apps, and as you grow, you will need to use an email marketing app. There's going to be a lot more functionality, a lot more analytics, things like that, better ways to segment your audience. And so if you are using an email app, so for example, I'm using MailerLite, you want to use something like Zapier to actually create that automation and get that lead onto your mailing list. So if I go ahead and create a new Zap here, the trigger is going to be Fillout Forms, because that is where the information is coming from, right? The lead is filling out the form, and I need that information to then pass along to the next step. So I'll choose Fillout Forms here, and then I'll choose New Submission. I will need to connect my Fillout account, which I'll do right now. Pretty simple. Great. And then I need to choose my form. And so I think that this was, yes, lead form. Continue. And then if I test this, I should find my sample or an example that they're giving me. So sometimes the information will not come along, but you'll have example information to continue setting up your automation. So if we go to step 2 down here, so we'll continue. The next thing we want to do is add this person, presumably, remember that they're a real person, to MailerLite. And what we want to do is create or update a subscriber, just in case they're already on your mailing list for some reason. And for me, I want to go ahead and add them to my leads group. And then the email address I want to use to create that subscriber will be the email address coming from my form. That will dynamically change as people submit that form, so it won't just say example@site.com every single time. And then I want to go to name, and I'll just put the first name in there, right? So if I continue and test and things like this, this will allow that person to get onto my mailing list. But I'm not going to publish because I already have all of this connected to my own workflows. So now if we look back at our workflow, we have learned how to, after a lead signs up for the freebie, deliver the confirmation, create the record, but also deliver it via email through the Fillout Forms workflows, and create an email sequence if we wanted to stay with Fillout. Or we can do what we just did for Zapier, and anytime they fill out the form, we can add that lead as a subscriber to your mailing list. And so the last step here is to, let's just go back. We don't need to publish this workflow right now. We want to share this, right? So we might want to embed this form. So we'll just take a look here. We can get the embed code. It automatically copies, which is lovely. I recommend, if you don't have a website yet, checking out card.co, and it's CARRD.co, and it's just a very simple landing page builder. And what you can do here is there is an option to do embed, and so let me just put this here, and if I click into this, it will say, what is this? It's code, and I'll go ahead and just paste the embed code that I copied. Click done, save. Let's see, test 1, 2, 3, that might be taken. Yep, lead form. Let's publish this, and then we'll take a look. We have to publish it to be able to see it embedded. And then if we go here, it's going to load. And there it is. Get the guide, put in your email address, put in your first name, and submit. And this is your fill-out form. So this is an easy way to create the landing page, put your form on there, and have everything automated to your mailing list to automatically deliver that lead magnet, and also get that person into Airtable to track and organize. So I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If there are other things that you're doing with your lead management process that you want to get some insight on how to automate it, please let me know, and I'd be happy to make some more tutorials.